J Myrax of Altruwest.com. Back once again. Hope y'all having a blessed week so far. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. We do these podcast episodes every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us for the next couple hours. We're going to be getting it cracking today. You see the title? We're talking about these MPC 3.0 or MPC Live 3 rumors, and we're going to talk about some other stuff as well. But I appreciate y'all for hanging out with us, man. We love to do this, love to hang out with the community, and love to chop it up, man. So looking forward to hearing what y'all think about the MPC Live 3 rumors as well. And let me know in the chat if you plan on getting an MPC Live 3 or MPC Live 3. Let me know if you're planning on getting it. If it comes out, are you planning on getting it? And what about it makes it something that you want to get? Leave your thoughts in the chat as well as in the comments. So definitely would love to hear back from the community on this, but we're gonna get started pretty soon. Just want to let some more folks pile into the stream first before we get started. You know how we do. And I'm gonna also just say what's up to everybody that's in the chat before we get started. And yeah, by the way, I don't have the MPC 3. I don't have the MPC Live. I'm just having a conversation. So if you're expecting someone to have a hands-on review in this video, don't have it, but we're gonna talk about it. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in as always. How y'all doing out there? What's going on with y'all? What's the mood? What's the move? How y'all feeling? Appreciate y'all as always. Let me say what's up to everybody that's in the chat before we get it cracking. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hell, Nary, I see you in here, man. No, sir. I haven't sold all my MPCs, man. I still got the MPC One. I just don't have the X, and that's all good, man. Well, we're gonna talk about that because I don't have that, and I just may not be the target audience in the end for this this product, and it's okay. So I don't have a problem with that. We're gonna talk more about that as well. I just may not be the target audience for it. So we're gonna talk about that, but yeah, I still got my MPC. Rodriguez Bailey, I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the love, sir. I appreciate you. Hope all is well. Keep grinding, keep doing your thing, man. I appreciate you for tapping in and spending this Thursday afternoon with me. And after we finish this, obviously we're gonna head over to Twitch as always, and we're gonna do the after show. If you're not familiar with the after show on Twitch, that's the place to be after. So we do this podcast for about an hour, and then at the 6 p.m. Central mark, we head over to Twitch, and it's a little bit more of a free-flowing conversation about a lot of different things. We talk gear, we talk about music production, but we also talk music culture and whatnot. So it's a very open conversation. Some of my members and people that join can tell you it's a vibe, man. We vibe out. I play new music, music that I'm listening to. You get a vibe for different elements and aspects of what I'm doing. So I appreciate y'all. But yeah, get ready for that at 6 p.m. Let me say what's up to a few more people. Dope Beat Dan, what's good, fam? Appreciate you. Shout out to my moderator, Upbeat Media. Upbeat Media will be directing traffic during the stream, so check the links, check the posts from Upbeat Media. They will be providing you with information related to what is being discussed in the stream, so shout out to Upbeat Media, and make sure that you abide by the rules. It's very simple. This is a great community. It's all love here. You're welcome to disagree. You're welcome to have different opinions. Just keep it civil. Keep it civil and respectful. That's all I ask. All right. So thank you for Upbeat Media for providing moderation as always. Gird Up International Ministries, one of my true sound creators. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, sir. Blessings to you. Tunes TV, peace, fam. Roll. Got the popcorn ready. Let's go. I'm not on no outrageous stuff today, man. It ain't gonna be like that. But yeah, we're gonna have a good conversation. DJ Lou Beats, another one of my true sound creators. Blessings to you as well, fam. Cold Heat Studios, another true sound creator. I appreciate you, fam. Salute. DJ Cool Breeze, another true sound creator. What's going on with you? Get at Nard. What's going on with you? Another I think you're a Studio 4K member, actually. Yeah, what's going on with y'all? Shout out to my true sound creators, True Sound Creator Plus, and 4K Studio Guest Pass members. If you don't know what that is the membership on this platform. So we do have a membership where we go into details about a lot of stuff. I got over 70 hours now of exclusive content that it can only be found in the membership. So if you're interested in things like exclusive interviews with people like EA Ski, Snipe Young, Divided Souls. We also have shootout content where we did shootouts with the some of the gear that I have. For example, we did a shootout a while back on MPC 60 mode on a few different devices. We recently did a shootout between the SS6 and the Neve R&DI. So these type of things exist in the True Sound Creators membership. So if you're not a member, I don't know what you're waiting for, man. Like if you're looking for like real information, real information about music production, like that next level, not just the surface level stuff, but if you're looking for the next level, consider becoming a True Sound Creator or a member of our True Sound Creators universe here, right? So this is our True Sound Creator Plus, and Studio Guest Pass 4K membership levels. There are different access points that allow you to get a little bit more out of the membership, depending on your budget and depending on what you're looking for in the end. So all the True Sound Creator Plus, and Studio Guest Pass 4K get access to things like loyalty badges, photo status updates, and I do post stuff in there, like if I'm selling gear or if there's other stuff going on, like just stuff that I got information from manufacturers and whatnot, I'll post that into the members only section. Like I said, over 70 hours of video archives, ad-free, members only live chats, 50% off the Amplify plugin, plus all the membership levels get access to my ebook, The Sound Mind, for a discounted rate, which I'll talk about in a second. True Sound Creator Plus also gets some additional discounts from some of our partners, such as MSX Sound Design, the sample packs from the produce market, and more. So shout out to our partners. And then the Studio Guest Pass 4K gets all of the perks mentioned previously, plus access to full-length multicam 4K sessions. And I'm posting those up monthly. So there's a lot of good stuff there, a lot of good details that you wouldn't see on a normal YouTube video from me. So, and if you're interested also in supporting further, you should check out my ebook, The Sound Mind. The Sound Mind is exclusive to Altruwest.com. This is an ebook that I wrote to help music producers level up. Now, if you're looking for that next level of information, that next level of just protocols, procedures, and mindsets and guidelines that'll help you to form your music production into something that can turn into a career. This is the information that I provided for music producers that are looking for that next level. This is the information that I have used and compiled to create the guidelines that I use in my career. And in my career, over 20 years as a sound designer, leveraging my music production skills and audio skills into a way that allowed me to make some of the top sound libraries at companies such as Native Instruments, and also sample libraries and content for Yamaha Corporation of America. Check The Sound Mind out. You can get that exclusively at Altruwest.com. And if you're looking for this at a discounted rate, you can get it as long as you are a member of one of our membership levels. So True Sound Creator Plus, and Studio Guest Pass 4K get a special discounted rate for this ebook. So I highly recommend it. Even if you're not a member, I recommend it, because if you're looking to level up your craft, this ebook is packed with information for people at all levels of their music production journey. So make sure you check it out. Couple little other administrative stuff before we get started. As I mentioned, we do have the membership, but also I wanted to let you guys know I just dropped another video earlier this week that was about the Franklin SS6, which was given to me by Franklin Audio, and I've had a chance to work with that device for the past couple months. And yeah, if you're interested in the results of some of my tests and all that stuff, make sure you check out that video. We just launched that on Tuesday. Lots of information. I don't think even if you're not in the market for a switch or a DI, you may want to check it out still. There's a lot of gems in that video besides just talking about the SS6, and some of my true sound creators can attest to the amount of gems and different workflows and strategies that are embedded into that video. So it's not just a video about that product. So check it out when you get a chance. But appreciate y'all as always. So you see the title, and before I get into this, I want to mention another thing here. I mean, I almost, to be honest, I almost didn't do the stream today, to be honest with y'all. Yeah, I was a little bit, I was just a little bit disturbed about, you know, what's been going on the internet and just in the world. And, you know, yesterday was just like a real nasty day as far as like, just exposure to stuff that I didn't want to see. But the world is real, you know, and I almost didn't come on. I needed to kind of clear my mind a bit, and you know, I didn't want to bring negative energy into the platform. And my intention is not to create division or divide people or make people feel inadequate for the choices that they make in their studio. I want you guys to be very clear about that. This is not a platform about creating divide, and it's not about my opinion or my thoughts on things are better than yours, or my workflow and my ideology and my philosophy is better than yours. That's not what this platform is about. It's about sharing in the end. I'm one producer. I have my career. I have my education. I have my knowledge and experiences. And I try to incorporate all of that into what we deliver on this podcast and also in any other uploaded content. I'm sharing my thoughts, my opinions, and my experiences. And they can be different from yours, because with a creative thing like music, there really is no one way to do anything. And you can get results with so many different things. So, you know, my job is to bring information and experiences and provide you with exposure to different thoughts. But let's not make it a thing about me asserting myself as the only person that knows anything. I definitely don't know everything, but I try to provide you with information about what I do know. And if I have thoughts about things that are generally known, then we'll talk about that as well. I try to keep this community real, respectful, and it's about sharing in the end. And it's about trying to find commonalities in areas where we align and agree. And, you know, one of the reasons I was like tempted to not do the stream was because I just got the sense that so many people, when they see information on the internet, what tends to happen is a lot of folks look to find what they disagree with before they look to find where they agree. And I think that's what creates a lot of the toxicity on the internet, is that the mindset and the attitude around how people engage today is more focused on where you disagree than where you agree. So then, you know, I can post some information and someone will bypass all the stuff that I said that they may agree with or that was right, just to try to find somewhere where they disagree. And that's a toxic behavior. That's a toxic mindset. And I don't want to contribute to that. I want to contribute to where we can find areas where we agree. And then I think it's okay to expound on areas where we disagree, but at least let's acknowledge where we align first before we start talking about what you disagree with. So I decided I'm gonna still bring myself to the platform and show up. For some people, this is a great place to just escape from some of the other stuff. So I want to continue to provide that platform. So I appreciate y'all for tapping in. But just let's let's move away from just trying to find where we disagree all the time, because I think that makes this community toxic if we do that. If it's always just like, oh, I don't agree with you there, or you're wrong there. I don't agree with this. If it's always that, then we never can have real community. It's just always going to be toxic arguments, and that's no place that I want to be, and that's not an environment or community that I want to create here, right? So that being said, appreciate y'all for being patient. I know for some of you it's like, oh my God, are you ever gonna get to the content? It's 19 minutes in or whatever, and you're still not there. It's a live stream, y'all. We do this podcast as a live stream, so I'm going to acknowledge the people, and I try to put chapters in here after we're done, but it is a live stream, so I'm not going to rush through it before people get here, and we're going to get started now. So the topic is the MPC Live 3, and we're talking about that. We're talking about the MPC Live 3, but I don't have it. So just keep in mind, we're talking about rumors here. I don't have it. But is the MPC Live 3 simply just the Nintendo Switch for music producers? I thought about that. And some of y'all might be like, where are you going with this, man? Like, what do you mean the Switch 2 for music producers? So let me explain myself a bit. I thought about this a little bit, and you might disagree, but you might see where I'm going as well. So really, it's not just about the MPC Live 3. I think if we look at all of the modern MPCs, I see a lot of overlap and parallels between the modern MPCs and gaming consoles for music producers. What do I mean by that? So, first of all, I watched a few early reactions to rumors about the MPC Live 3. And I wanted to talk about that a little bit. Like a lot of people talking about MPC Live 3, and there's a lot of excitement about it. And I find it to be interesting, and it's cool to see people really excited about what's to come for the MPC platform. And I know I've been critical of the new line of MPCs, and I know that's why people got popcorn ready, because they're like, oh, what are he gonna say now? Is he about to tear into it now? And it's not about that. Like, you can be critical of something and still even support it, for that matter. I think it's a way about doing it. But yeah, I've been critical of the new line of MPCs, and I think much of the design philosophy and the feature set of the modern MPCs just aren't really a good fit for me in my studio. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's me in my studio. I think the new MPCs can be greatly useful for producers today that are just getting their studio started. They might be at an early stage and simply desire a simple but fun way to work on music without the headache associated with a complex MIDI setup, a complex audio setup, and all the stuff that comes with traditional music studios. Let me get some of this tea. So much of the feature set in the modern MPC, in my perspective, caters to an audience looking for a robust set of features and simplicity. And I believe that they accomplished that for a very reasonable price. Considering a device like an MPC Live 2, which includes a decent amount of inputs and outputs, built-in speaker, touchscreen, internal battery, it's a studio in a box for many producers. And I started to think about this a bit, and I was like, listening to how people are reacting already to the MPC Live 3, it made me think about the domain of gaming and the divide between console gaming and PC gaming. So let me explain. There are many gamers out there that believe that console gaming is a watered down, inferior experience to PC gaming due to the lack of controls, the lack of modification, the lack of hardware gaming power, like raw power that you have on a PC versus a console, the lack of availability in games, and there's a lot of other differences and concerns, but those are some of the big ones that make the PC gamer feel like the console gamer is kind of playing a watered down version of the same titles. And those there are those that are in the gaming community that will say that you aren't a real gamer if you don't game via PC. That literally is a thing. There's that much of a divide where people just say, "Well, you don't really do it if you're not on a PC for gaming." So when comparing similar titles on a PC versus a console, it is clear that PC provides much more options and has a more complex open-ended approach to the same game. Now, I'm not a heavy gamer. I don't consider myself a heavy gamer at all. I kind of just got back into gaming maybe a couple years ago. Probably during the pandemic was when I got back into it. So, but I recently got back on a PC as well. I have a PC now, and I also have a Switch and a PS5. So I started getting back into gaming again. But I really only play one game. I play this game called Civilization 6. Some of you guys know about the Civilization franchise, but Civilization has historically been a PC game. And the franchise recently decided to make it accessible to the console users by porting it over to PS4, Xbox, and Switch a few years back. And it was because of that port over to specifically the PS4 that made the game finally accessible to me to test out. I had been seeing it for a while in like the App Store, and also I would see it in the Steam store, but I never pulled the trigger to try it, even though that game franchise has been around since the 90s. So once I tried Civilization 6 on PlayStation 4 with its limited control set, because you're using just a PlayStation 4 controller, and it probably had a highly compromised gameplay compared to what you had on the computer. But I played it on the PlayStation 4 first, and I got hooked. I didn't expect to get hooked on that game, but I got hooked on the game. And it was a game that I would say I didn't understand why people were so excited about it, but then when I finally played it on PlayStation 4, I could see why people were so enthusiastic about Civilization, the franchise. And I always wrote that game off as being, that's just another game I don't really need to play. I thought of like when I saw it, it came off as another historical colonialism game. And I kind of let my biases keep me from even trying it. It's like I don't want to play another like colonial settler type game. Like I don't want to play that. Fast forward to like if I fast forward to today, right? It is easily my favorite game to play. It's probably the only game that I really dedicate hours to playing without feeling guilty, because I actually feel like I'm learning from it as I play. I'm learning a lot of things. So I got into that game, and as I got into the game, I went back and I bought previous versions of the game that were PC desktop only. So I bought Civilization 5. And I also ended up buying Civilization 6 for Steam, and I bought it for Switch. And I didn't once think about what I was missing from Civilization when I was on PlayStation 4. I was just playing it and I had fun playing it. And it allowed me access to the game. So I didn't know much about it. And I didn't know how much of the game was compromised for the PlayStation controller because I didn't have a reference to how Civ played on PC. I didn't have any reference. My introduction was on PlayStation 4. So once I finally played Civ on desktop and I played it on PC, I started to understand some things that the longtime players were talking about when they compared the experience on the desktop to the console. I was like, I see what you're talking about now. I see why you say that the PC or the desktop gameplay is so much better than what I'm getting on the console because the desktop PC version had more controls. It was easier to move around the map. The navigation was a little bit better. The expandability was much better. There were so many different things I can get into that were not possible on the PlayStation 4 version. So although I could understand and respect what the traditional Civilization player community was talking about, and I understood where they were coming from, I could also say that for me, those things that they were talking about did not keep me from enjoying the PlayStation version. I was still fully enjoying what I was getting from the PlayStation version, which is a port of the full gameplay, the full game for the PC. So then, as I look at it more, as I start to think about this more, I said, looking at the console market today, you can see a lot of parallels between the Akai MPC line and the console market. So, for example, one of the consoles that released this year was the Switch 2, right? So, and if we look at the Switch 2, some of the differences between the Switch and the Switch 2, it kind of parallels how similar these worlds are between, like, saying potentially the MPC Live 2 and the rumor MPC Live 3. For example, the Switch 2 adds a higher resolution output. So it has 4K output. It has a bigger screen. It has updated controller design. It has more processing power and more battery life. Sound familiar? When we discussed the MPC Live 3, some of the main things that I've been hearing people discuss are things like new controller design. So this new potential controller is probably going to be better mapped for the MPC 3.0 firmware, which is always a problem. When you start adding a lot of features after the fact on a hardware device, you have to make a lot of concessions. There's a lot of things like shift controls and nested menus and things that you have to build in order to accommodate for an expanded feature set that was beyond what the hardware controller was originally designed to do. So, new design hardware controller, faster processor, more RAM. I've heard things about a potential built-in microphone. Like I'm thinking, as soon as I heard that, I'm thinking SP404 style, like little microphone that allows you to just capture sound just like an SP404 could. And also a potential new screen design and stem handling. These are just some of the rumors. Like I said, I don't have it, can't confirm if any of these things are true. But I think these things are probably all needed upgrades for those that are already using the MPC Live 2 and need just a little bit more freedom, a little bit more headroom to be able to create. Because we all say limitations breed creativity until we start hitting them walls and say, oh, I can't do this though. So we got to be honest about that too. Like sometimes it's cool to have a little bit more features and functionality. We ain't gonna play this game that it's always just about being limited, because otherwise you would just stick with like the old units, and you wouldn't worry about, oh, it doesn't have stem separation, it doesn't have this, it doesn't have that. It ain't always just about limitation. Limitations can be good, but also, when you pay for a product, you also kind of want certain features to be there. Like for technology, new iPhone just came out. You want more features. You don't want limitations on the new iPhone, right? So same thing with the MPC. You want it to advance. You want it to get more powerful. You don't necessarily want it to be less powerful. You don't want it to be more limited. Not for something like that. So that's the thing. Like, I think the new MPC Live 3 should give you a little bit more freedom to create. I don't think that a system such as the MPC Live, MPC Live 3, MPC Live 2, MPC Live, or whatever, I don't think we should be comparing those to the legacy MPCs, though. I think that's something that, we could talk about it sonically, of course, but realistically, I don't think that the design of the modern MPCs is similar in terms of the overall concept and the reason for it. I think they have different philosophy around those products. When you compare the modern MPC, especially the Live series, when you compare that to a legacy MPC, I would say the Live series is much more focused on a portable studio in the box. And I think that's very similar to a handheld gaming console like a Switch, because you want to be able to take a Switch on the go. You want to be able to take it to the park. You want to take it to the beach. You want to take it on the plane. You want to take it on the train. You want to be able to go wherever you want with a Switch, just like you want with the MPC Live. I believe that the modern MPC really caters to a similar desire to have a simple, consolidated experience that doesn't require all of the maintenance and the difficult routing and the complex setups and all that stuff that you would get with a traditional MPC setup. It's designed to simplify it and allow you to do as much as you can in a single box. It's not really designed for you to be thinking about all this expansive workflow with a whole bunch of hardware and a whole bunch of connections and a whole bunch of audio cables. It's not designed like that. If it were for that purpose, it literally would have been designed much differently than it is designed. They are not catering to a traditional setup. They're catering to a desire to have the freedom to play with this device in the same fashion you would play with a handheld console in many ways. Now, the question is, for some of y'all, I'm sure y'all wonder, it's like, do I plan to get an MPC Live 3? And to answer your question, probably not. I don't plan to get it because just for me personally, I don't have a need for it in my setup. I don't. When I go on a plane, if I go on a train, if I'm going out somewhere where I might have some free time, I'm probably not going to try to make beats. I'm probably just going to bring my OG Nintendo Switch and play Civ 6 if I'm on a train, if I'm on a plane. That's one of my favorite things to bring on a plane. I bring my Nintendo Switch and I'll play Civ 6 because I don't really feel a need to make music when I'm traveling like that. And if I'm going somewhere to make music, that's one thing. But generally speaking, if I'm on vacation or if I'm doing some travel, I'm not bringing my music gear with me. I don't want to do that. But everyone's different, right? Everyone is different. And for some people, that commute or that plane ride, that might be like the only real time that they have to commit to making a track without interruptions and without guilt. Because let's face it, some people don't have the luxury of making music anytime they want. Surprise. Some people have very limited time to make music. And it can be a guilty thing as well, because sometimes they want to make music, but they know they got a whole bunch of other responsibilities and things they need to focus on. So They got to find little areas where they can do it guilt-free. And I know that having the ability to take a device where you go, like when you're traveling and whatnot, where you can't do anything else, like if you're on a train or a plane, you really can't do anything else except for maybe sit, read, scroll through your phone, or make a beat if that's what you want to do. Not everybody wants to do that, obviously, but some people, that's sometimes that's the only time that they have for that. We ain't saying for everybody. We saying for some people, right? So let's not get it twisted. Everybody's situation is different. Just because your situation isn't like that doesn't mean other folks aren't having that scenario where they can't really sit down in their studio without being interrupted every 2 minutes with, a child, a significant other, or something else that is taken away from their ability to be able to focus. So sometimes they need to be able to get away, and that's one of the ways that they want to get away. And some people just want to go create in a more comfortable environment. I know for me, I love playing, as much as I said I love playing Civilization 6, I still prefer playing it on the couch. I still prefer playing it with the PlayStation. Even though it's so much better, actually, as far as like the full gameplay experience and the customization and all of that stuff is better on the PC, I still prefer sitting on the couch and playing Civ 6 with the limited controller because that's just more comfortable and it doesn't feel as serious for me. It allows me to just be relaxed and just hang out and play it very casually. So for me, I can understand and relate to people that want the MPC Live and that are looking to get an MPC Live 3 because I understand that sometimes you just want something that allows you to be very casual and free and not have to do a lot of complex stuff to actually make it work. So that's why I say it's important for us to find where we have commonalities and similarities because as you start to look at the mindset around why you do certain things or why you may own certain things, you might understand people on a different level if you take a step back and say, do I have any commonalities in how this person is approaching what they're approaching, whatever it is, right? Do I have any common thoughts or rationale around how I'm handling this in my life versus how they're handling that? And I think if we start to look more about where there's overlap, it becomes very obvious. Like people are going to make choices that best fit their scenario. And it's very difficult for any of us to judge what type of situation or scenario people have because we don't live their lives. You live your life, I live mine, right? So I think it's great for us to celebrate each other for what we do differently and also learn from each other for what we have that are differences. And I think instead of saying someone's wrong about what they want to do with their own music and their own production, let's find out why they want to do it and kind of just learn from each other and see what results they get in the end. But I want to know your thoughts. What are your thoughts about the MPC Live 3? Now that picture, some of y'all asked, is that a real picture? I have no clue. I found that picture. I said, that's why I asked, is it real? Is that real? I have no clue if that's a real image or not. It's something I found online and I said, let me just share it just to get the conversation going. But is the MPC Live 3 something that you plan on purchasing? And if so, what are some of the key features that you're looking forward to with the MPC Live 3? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. I'm going to go to the comments. We got a little bit of time. I tried to make this a little bit more to the point so now we can have the conversation. And then after we finish this, we're going to go over to Twitch for the after show at 6 p.m. Central Time. But I'm going to get to the chat now. I appreciate y'all for hearing me out. If y'all haven't already done so, hit the like button, man. Don't just be a casual watcher. We got 135 people in here, 45 likes. Please hit the like button, support the channel. I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. Let's see here. Let's see. Gird Up International Ministry says he's looking for better converters. I hear that. I can definitely dig that. Now I don't know. I don't know that that's going to be the unique selling point for the live, but we shall see. Ruffian Kick, what's good with you, fam? What's good with you? Said I'll purchase it after its second year. I hear that. I hear that, fam. It's very important, especially if you are adding something as a staple in your workflow that you might want to kind of be slow to adopt it, because if it's going to be your main thing, let's be honest. Today, a lot of companies get to the finish line with something that may not be fully ready for action yet, and that's okay. That's okay. But you better know that that's what you're buying into when you buy something that just come out in this era. You better know that there's going to be some some beta testing that you're still doing. That's just the reality of it. You're not going to just get something that's perfect. Know that going through the door. Do not play this game where you buy it the first day it came out and then you cry because you sold your old MPC that was working to add this thing, and then it doesn't work the way you like. So now you're crying the blues to the community about how it doesn't work as well. Don't do that. Know that you are still going to be doing some degree of testing and helping them to refine the product. So if you buy it day one, it may come with bugs. Let's just keep it a buck. Million Mill on the track says, I don't think it's real because it looks like a fake 2.15 screen on the pic, not 3.0. I hear that. I don't know. I really don't. Funky Fingers Production says, I haven't seen it yet to be excited. Still happy with my XSE. I hear that. I hear that. Dap1, what's going on with you? He said the live 2 is perfect. That's what's up, man. I'm glad you were loving that. Let's see here. Accurate Beats, what's good, fam? Appreciate you for joining the stream. Ruffian Kick says, I like the gray color that's on the Octatrack MK2. That's what's up. That's another one. Y'all saw the new Electron, the Tone Verk. I don't know why y'all sleep on Electron too. I'll probably have to do a different string about this Tone Verk thing, but that one seems pretty interesting as well, for it to have like a multi-sampler on it, and the auto sampling, and they focused on multi-sampling. Seems very interesting. So Tone Verk is another one I'm curious about. Petroni23, appreciate the super chat. He says, I made beats on Machine for 10 years, ditched it to get off the computer, and have been using SP404 and Digitact. Now I'm ready for a DAW in a box with or without good converters. LOL. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Glad that it is checking some boxes for you. I don't think that that's a box that you buy for converters, honestly. That's a box that you buy for mobile handheld beat making. That's what it's for. Like, you buy that for converters, then you kind of you are not buying that for the right reason. That's just my opinion. Let's see here. Just going back up the list here. Okay. Dap One World says, I only make beats outside with my kid. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's cool. Othello 989 says, I thought they'd be working on MPC Live Mini, like the SP404 MK2 competitor. That would be interesting as well. Them having an SP404 competitor, but then again, I don't think they even need that, to be honest. Like, it could be interesting just to like have a MPC at that $400 price point, but I don't know. Let's see here. Ruffian Kick said, bring back the blue, navy blue. Yeah, that that 2000 XL and that 4000 with that navy blue. Trust me, I already know. Let's see here. Raul says you bring your green eggs and ham. Yeah. Christopher Lamont says if the XSE had the Pro Tools VST bundle in it, that would have been great. They had to link up with Native Instruments just to get sounds. That's bad. Well, Akai's not really been traditionally a sample sound company, really, right? They've been more of a sampler company, but sample library sounds and whatnot, they have some, but they haven't really been super known for like having the dopest sample libraries or synths. They had a time where they had some dope analog synths. I'm not gonna take that away from Akai. Akai definitely got some heat. Like them legacy analog synths, they got some heat, trust me. But they really haven't been known for having sample libraries. So of course, going to a company like Native, that's kind of been their bread and butter forever. It's like sample libraries and high-end software sampler, not hardware. But yeah, it makes sense. Let's see here. One Mean Gene says, has the MPC become the modern boombox? That's a good point. I love that. I love that analogy because some of y'all want to be Radio Raheem out here. If you don't know who Radio Raheem is, go watch a movie called Do the Right Thing. And then you'll find out who Radio Raheem is. They have this this movie has this song called Fight the Power by this group called Public Enemy. I don't know if you ever heard of Public Enemy. But they have this song called Fight the Power, and it's very well featured in Do the Right Thing. Shout out to Public Enemy. But yeah, if you don't know who Radio Raheem is, go watch Do the Right Thing by Spike Lee, and you'll find out. And I think some of y'all want to be Radio Raheem, for better or for worse. And I think there's such a relevance to the Radio Raheem conversation because we know that the Radio Raheem thing was also a commentary on police brutality. So it was it's still a very relevant conversation. But I think one of the key elements with Radio Raheem was that he had the sound system and he would go through the neighborhood with his sounds, kind of proving that he was like the biggest and baddest with his sound system. And I do have some thought. We ain't gonna do a critical analysis on this, but I will say Radio Raheem, he's a complex character. And he was kind of a bit of a bully in a way. If I want to be honest about it, that's me looking at it as a person in my 40s now, looking at him, and I say Radio Raheem kind of was bullying folks as well. He was kind of deboing folks with the boombox, but he wanted to have his music heard, and he definitely wanted to be respected for the sound that was coming out of his boombox. And he didn't care if anybody else was playing anything else. He would come by and you better bow down to what he playing because he was going to let it be known, you don't have the sounds that I have. So shout out to Spike Lee and Do the Right Thing. Shout out to Public Enemy. And yeah, shout out to Radio Raheem. But yeah, I love that analogy. That's a good one. That's a good one. Let me see what else. Y'all saying up in here. Raul says, Akai's ambition is DAW in the box. I believe they'll get there. I do too. I believe that that's where they're going. And that's the market that they're trying to go after now. Is people that need all of that. And if you need all of that, that's what it is. That's what the new MPC lines will be giving you. It's like DAW in the box. So I don't think they're gonna be about like expandability and conversion and all this other stuff. And that's not this. Listen, when I say this, guys, y'all gotta not take that out of context. If you know what you're hearing sonically, and you know what characteristics you're getting because you can hear accurately, and you know exactly what you're getting and what you're not getting, you can make anything conform to what you're trying to do as a audio engineer, as a music producer with skill, right? But it is important that you know what you're hearing. That's why I always tell you guys, make sure you got the fundamentals together. Audio interface, monitors, sound treatment in your room. You need to know what you're hearing first, and then you can start to address what something has or what it's lacking. Because let's be honest. When you're mixing, sometimes you're adding, sometimes you're subtracting based upon what is best going to serve the actual song in the end. But you need to be able to hear that stuff. So as much as we talk MPCs and all that stuff, I don't care if you got a MPC 3000. If you don't have the right ability to hear what you're getting, it's not going to magically make your stuff sound better. Having a 4000 is not going to magically make you sound better. But if you can hear what you're getting and you know what you're doing, now you can start to really tailor that sound and push it in a direction that allows you to get exactly what you need to get for the mix or for the song you're working on. But I'm saying that you're not buying the modern MPCs for a very specific sound texture or sound quality. They are DAWs in the box, and they allow you to shape the sound and do what you need. But we're not going to argue about whether it sounds the same as a MPC 3000 or MPC 4000. They're just not going to. And if that's not the sound that you identify with, it won't even matter in the end, right? If you don't care about that, it don't matter. But for the older heads, as I mentioned earlier, if you were familiar with the older tech and you've played the older version of the franchise, then like it used to be a certain thing. So for us older cats that have been using it for a while, yeah, we're going to compare it. That's how it is with gaming. Like the gamers will look at, like, I know for me and in the community of gaming that I'm in, the Civilization franchise, folks are always saying, oh, Civ, blah, 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 is not as good as the previous one. There were so many people that were complaining when I was on Civ 6. They were complaining, Civ 6 isn't good as Civ 5. Civ 5 is a much better game. Now, I love Civ 6. That's my favorite one. They're up to 7 now. I don't love 7. 7 is terrible to me. 6 is the best for me. 5, I actually do like. I played it. I have it. I like it. I see why people like it. It is a different experience than 6, but 6 is where it's at for me. And that's going to be just based upon my experience and like what actually attracted me to the game in the first place. So same thing with the MPC. Some of you might be just better off with the modern MPC because all that other stuff that people fell in love with back in the day, that may not have any relevance to you and what you're trying to accomplish in your studio. So like I said, do not hear me wrong with this. I'm not saying that these are bad devices. I'm saying that comparatively, as someone that has used other devices, when we compare certain things and we compare the reason why I would buy an old MPC versus these new MPCs, some of the stuff doesn't line up. Some of the stuff doesn't check out for my particular circumstance. Doesn't mean it can't work for you though. And I would bet for some of you guys, it would work because I've had these conversations. Some of you guys don't use some of the stuff that I use in my studio. I asked a few weeks back, or not a few weeks back, I guess it was last week, because I see Ruffian just talked about it, but some of you guys don't use ADAT. Some of you guys don't use ADAT at all. So when we start, like I asked in the chat and I said, how many of you guys use ADAT? And I mean the interface, not like ADAT machines. I mean just the ADAT interface, the ADAT connectors, right? A lot of you guys said you never used it before. I use ADAT all the time in my studio. So it's stuff like that where it's like your setup is different than mine, and that's cool. LD40, man, appreciate the super chat, fam. Thank you so much, man. Hope all is well with you. I do agree with you though, Ruffian. It does seem that they could add an ADAT port on it just to give it a little bit more options. But I think realistically, they solve it with the USB-C or USB connection, I would say, because if you can hook up a class compliant interface, then you start to be able to expand the outputs. And for me personally, and that's just me personally, I actually prefer having the ability to connect the class compliant audio interface to get analog out, because just from my experience, I'll tell you this. I have used ADAT on an MPC before. I had the MPC 4000 like way back. I had it way back, 2005, 2006. I had one with ADAT on it. And I was using the 4000 connected via ADAT and tracking it out. But I will tell you that I definitely prefer analog out versus ADAT out, because I have more control over the sound. I can route it different places. So I'd rather have more analog outs than ADAT out. If I'm gonna do ADAT, then I might as well produce just in the box as far as like transferring from the MPC to the computer is concerned. I'd rather just have analog out. Sun Civil Media said, "What's up, bro? To my knowledge, that's just a Reddit markup." Yeah, I found it on Reddit. So it probably is just that. Like I said, I don't have it. It's not, it was just more for conversation than it is for accuracy, so to speak. Accurate Beats says all the rumors out there makes this MP seem pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it'll be a great thing for some people, man. I think for others it won't be the right thing, but we'll see. We'll see. But I think that everybody's studio is different in the end. So there's not a judgment on your studio and whether you decide to use this or not. It don't make me a difference in the end, man. I'm gonna still bang out with what I got. And hopefully you bang out with what you got. Because at the end of the day, you can come chat in my chat, you can come comment and say, well, you don't need to do this. It could be all that. But at the end of the day, whatever you say, I'm gonna go to your page and see if you post any of your music. And if you don't, then it's like, I have to keep pushing in, because on this platform, it's about sharing the information, but it's also about sharing the music. And you guys have seen me make music. That's what I started this channel on, was making music. My first videos on this platform 18 years ago, beat making videos. We ain't stopped making beat making videos. Matter of fact, if you want to see more beat making videos, become a member of the Studio 4K Guest Pass, and you can see the full sessions now, because that's how we roll in this era of YouTube that wants to try to copyright strike stuff that they don't even own. But that being said, y'all, I appreciate y'all, man. Like I said, I'm gonna try to keep these at an hour now, right? We about to get ready to transition over to Twitch for the after show at 6 p.m. Central Time. So that's in an hour. Y'all got an hour to get it right, get your stuff together, get your tea, get your drinks, get your food, whatever you need to get, and head over to Twitch. Make sure you follow me on Twitch. We're gonna get it cracking over there. And like I said, my folks know how we get it cracking on the after show, man. The after show is a vibe, man. Like it's definitely a vibe. So we're gonna vibe out. But I appreciate y'all, man, as always. Much love. Make sure y'all hit the like button. If you're new to this channel, make sure you subscribe to this channel. We get it cracking like this every Thursday at 4 p.m. Central Time. This is how we working. This is how we rolling. And look out for more content from this channel to come. Make sure that you are subscribed. If you're interested in learning more about what we do on this channel, you can definitely subscribe, but we'll also be posting a little bit more information in the membership. So make sure you consider becoming a member if you want to actually get to that next level of information from this channel. And, support the channel as always. If you want to buy merch or anything from the website, we'll be discontinuing the Black Music Month merch at the end of this month. So make sure, if you're still trying to get the Black Music Month merch, t-shirts and whatnot, make sure you go to altruwest.com for that. But until next time, I want to tell y'all peace and God bless. And I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all take care out there, and we'll see y'all at 6 p.m. Central Time for the after show on Twitch.
Woo!